Hey guys, how you doing? Alright, let's go for it. Let's see if he plays. Trying to see if I... Okay, so he's playing there, alright. There we go. Trying to see if I can't get this pawn here. This is a weak pawn. I don't know if he has a way of saving this pawn on e4. I think I've won a pawn here, if I'm not mistaken. on the e5. Or potentially maybe I like knight to g5. Hmm. Just trying to build a fortress. Now I gotta get my king involved. got mate on F8. Ooh. Yeah, I gotta plan this just right. If he tries bishop here, I could push. He moves and I push. And see, the idea is I'm trying to get somehow in here so I can attack. Okay. That's my goal, is right there. Boom, picking up the rook. Let's get into our London system. Okay, dokie. Good game. Oh. Okay, dokie dookie. Let's do it. Knight f3, f5, d4, knight f6, bishop f4, g6, knight c3, with a kind of interesting idea. The idea of knight c3 is queen to d2 and then castle queenside and go for a monster kingside attack. So bishop g, queen d2. Also, now that the bishop's there, we also have another idea of bishop to h6. This begins the not so subtle plan bishop h6 and queenside castling, very similar to the Bury attack style setup. c5. This makes logical sense because it's when you're meeting a front, like a frontal attack, you usually attack it on the wing. And so that's kind of what it is. Center attacks, usually you attack on the wing. That kind of tries to decoy your opponent away from doing anything. What they're saying though is covered in our next game. Well, we're going to cover in the next game b6, pawn b6 to dominate the open file. But we're going to look at, this is actually a dubious move. So c5 was a dubious, and this move was dubious too. King castle kingside is dubious because there's no real point to it. It actually walks right into our idea of h4 wham. So d6, castle queenside. Now we have our bishop for safety. We have a pawn. Our knight can go to g5. Ugh. You just don't want to give your opponent anything. Another dubious move. It's like this is it's more of a waste of time. You're giving black the time to go wham, e4. It's like boom. Black's trying to creepy crawly in, as Maurice Ashley would say today. He's trying to creepy crawly his queen in and his bishop in, and his knight to g5. So that's kind of what we're trying. So g takes e. c4 check, h8, g5, b6, attack the bishop, wham, in comes the attack. Rook takes, and then bishop takes, of course. And e6 was played in one of the games. Now, instead of d5, okay, they're saying that this was played here. H5 is actually a sclam move, but they're saying there was one time that this kind of looks silly, but D5 was actually played. It's kind of a silly looking move. It really doesn't, in my opinion, do much. So I like h5. That's my move. h5. Knight takes h5, and then g4. Exclam, because you're basically giving up a bishop. But remember, your whole goal is an attack. We have enough pieces to take down. So c4, g takes h5, knight takes d. This is kind of like incredible type of setup. H takes g, h6, and wham, boom, kablooey. And then he takes there. Queen takes, and now this is, you're basically black's getting just pummeled. He has to give material back. And White's like, you're serious, right? You're joking me? You really think I'm going to accept the material? Yes, we'd be even, but so what? I have the attack. I have the power. And so we're one move away from a checkmate. Boom. On f8. So why would White want to settle for a lonely queen when he can have the king, and then go home and have dinner that night celebrating their victory? You know what I mean? I'd want to have dinner celebrating my victory rather than getting the queen. So what, you have a prisoner of war? That's not the point. We want victory. Victory. That's the goal. So keep that in mind. It's not about material. It's victory. V for victory. Okay. H4 takes, and then g5. This isn't much of an improvement for black here. This actually, White's fully developed. Black's development is horrible, and he's basically going down in flames. You gotta love these. You know what? It's crushing. Yeah, you gotta love it. Black should try, instead of the castles here, Black should actually try his last ditch attempt to hold is knight to b4, knight b4. Exclam. Because the idea is to shut this down and try to close the center up. Not let the center open and then be a victim to a humongous attack. 95, d6, c4. He's kicking our knight around, and then it castles. And we should be okie dokie here. This is kind of complicated, but I prefer White here because of White's developmental advantage, and because we're going to be castling queen side. I really prefer White. I think White has a better chance of winning here. That's just my opinion. So I go White if it was me. So c5 dubious. Bishop to h6. Bishop takes h6. Queen takes h6. And then c takes d5. D4. Knight takes d4. And then queen to b6. Trying to eyeball the knight on d4. And the b2 pawn on and the b2 pawn. The knight and the b2 pawn. So White has to guard both, and he does with castle queenside. Hurrah! We have sustained We have stopped the damage, and now we're healing up and going for an attack. Weehaw. Knight c6, e3, and rather than takes, because if he takes here, the rook would basically implant itself back there, and you don't want that, because then you have something like that lining up on you, and no baby, no. You don't want, and also there, white has so much attack. You have to keep the pieces on the board. You have to keep the flow. He also wants to jump in there as well. So h3, knight to f7. He's doing his darndest to get the queen out. So, and by the way, h3 stops the idea like what we talked about. Knight e to g4. So he has to play his other queen attacking move, knight to f7. But this actually is retreating pieces back. And you gotta love it, because we just go h4, queen h4, d5, and then boom, g4. We're saying bring it on. That's the whole thing. Bring it. And he goes g5, but there's a line if he takes, h takes, and now we have this massive attack coming down the pike. And if he takes there, that's a mistake. You do not want to take. It is met by knight takes d5, and what to play? If knight takes d5, queen takes, and black's king is in grave danger, because we have so much of an attack coming. We have a bishop. What's black gonna do? White, white's safe. In one move, prophylactically, we can play king to b1, and it'd be like he's castling kingside. Black's in grave danger in that move sequence. Whoa. Good thing he didn't play it and just played g5, trying to say, you know what, get on out of here, queen. And so the queen goes, you know what, I provoked a weakness, I'm happy with that. And he goes full bore, like, and I'm thinking to myself, what in the world was this move? This has no play. Should have kept it calm, kept it solidified, potentially maybe played f takes g. That would have been better. H takes, and then bishop to e2 d7, and then himself castle queenside. But he got a little too happy. He could have locked everything down, just calmed the position down. But then white would have just danced with d4 and said, you know what, maybe you should look at your queen and not worry about calming things down. But he is better off here than in the game. So black's at least better off here than what's in the game he played. e4, too optimistic in my opinion, because the knight just went wham and said, you know what, I see a knight, I take a knight. F takes. Black's thinking, I saved my king. There's no takey. I can't takey on he can't takey on f5 anymore. But what he forgot was the back door, and the knight says, you know what, you could take my brother, but ready, here comes the dance of the knights. He's coming right on into c7. Woohoo, yes. With a dual threat of knight d5. Taking on, let's see here, and the forking threat of taking there. So the idea is here and there. So we're going to win a piece. So e5 is played to shut the queen out, and then rook goes wham, and we're like, yes, we finally provoked a weakness, and now it's time to cash in on our investments, our patience, our dedication to an attack. Okay, castles. And then we go wham, bishop to c4, and it's like, what door did we just open? Because now when we take this pawn, there's a pin, and he's like, uh-oh, spaghetti-o. e6, and then he's like, and then he's like, oh, we almost got you, we got you, and then we go, don't think so. 1 second, hold on. Excuse me. Don't think so. We got a fork on you now. And he's like, but I could just take it. Yeah, I could take your knight with check. Boom. Remember, it's about the king is so vulnerable, and we have a pawn. We're going for the KO. That's what we want. Remember that. KO. D there, and then boom, we take it. So now we're only down, in theory, let's see, we have 7 and he has 5. So we're actually equal in pawn count. In theory, we're equal here. Rook d8. There's also, if you want to hold the pawn so there's no taking, there's also h6. Then we have d6 here. And the idea is, if you're thinking it's safe to take, you are wrong. Boom. There goes the, I'm joking. That is not safe to take. It's like, you can't take it, because if you do, you get that. This right here, I'm going to give it a double question mark. Boom, that is a mistake. And then I'm going to give this one here an exclam. Actually, maybe not this one. I'd probably give this move here an exclam. And I'd give this takes a double question mark, which would be a blunder. You gotta love that. And then he moves there, and then we go wham, takes. We grab another pawn. So now we're up a pawn in gameplay. King h8. Queen goes right into the sweet pocket of f6. King h8, and then knight to d4. Queen d6, and then a3. Of course, you guys see, if he tried to go for a takedown at this moment, I want you guys to this is a good working thing for you guys. If he plays knight f5, let's say white played knight f5. What's black's move? What is black's best move? And I need to actually, I'm sorry guys, I have to do one thing here. Hold on, I have to copy this and re-put it in. It gets a double question mark, by the way, so you guys know it's a super duper. Oh, not that. Oops, I forgot that I have to put it in manually. I forgot about that. I thought I could just put it in. Okay, that means blunder. So that's why I put double question marks. Double means blunder. So it's your guys' move. You are black. White played knight to f5, blunder. What is black's best move combination? If knight f5, and I will put that out there for you guys. I'm going to play it. Now it's a blunder. What is black's best move? Sequence, I should say. Black's best move sequence. I'll give you guys a second to think about it, and put it into the chat so that you guys can we can see if you guys are on the right track. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, take a second, stop the video, and set up a board or put this position up on your computer and work through it. Don't the one thing you don't want to do is go ahead. You want to learn why knight f5 is a blunder. There's a pattern here. So find the pattern, okay? Starting right now. Go. We'll give you guys 1 minute, okay? So when it hits 18, I'll show you the move. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Put in there and write it in. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to work through it. This is for your benefit. Okay. Great job. I know you guys saw this sequence. Queen to d2 check. King b1. Queen sacrifices herself. I'm going to give this a double exclam here. A brilliant move. That's just my opinion. I think it's brilliant. Or maybe just one. I'll just do one. Rook takes, and then checkmate. Boom. And so we'll do our summary. Hold on, I gotta check one thing. Okay, 38. Good. Alright, the summary goes if, let's go back here. With knight c3, when he plays king, then we go queen d2. And then at the right moment, we castle queenside. He calls this the Conan the Barbarian attack here. He says because we're going for the knockout here. He calls it the Conan the Barbarian. It's the way to handle against the Leningrad. You want to go knight c3. You want to go knight c3. You want to go queen to d2. And then at the right moment, you want to castle queenside. You have to kind of go for the cave person, as Maurice Ashley and Yazzer would say. It's the cave person attack, because you're basically throwing your pawns up, saying, "Let's go for it all for one." And so that's kind of the attack. Okay, before we get started, we'll pick up a quick game and see what we got here. And we'll do an 8, and we'll create a game here, and then we'll get into our tactics. Good job, by the way, on solving that. I knew you guys could do it. Yes, we will. We're gonna step it up a notch. Going after the knight. I don't want to give up my bishop quite yet. I'm not ready for an endgame. Not quite yet. Let's see if I can't get that pawn. I'm going to play next move if I can. I'm going to play potentially queen there or bishop here. It all depends on what he plays. You got to keep the tension, keep the pressure. now I have free roam of the board. There's nothing you can do now. Excuse me. Boom. Yeah, the rest of the game would have went like this. Okay. Boom. Gotta check one thing out though, back here. When I played there. Okay, so this right here, mate 20. No, I was just tired of his bishop, and I thought to myself, you know what? His bishop's going to be a pain throughout the entire game, so I just wanted to get the bishop off the board. Yeah, I got blessed that he didn't see that move. So I queen, he took. I takes, he takes, he goes there. And then like that, the machine actually agreed with me on this one, so. I guess I could have went the other way, huh? I probably should have done that. Huh. Yeah, this would have been a better, yeah. That would have been better, because then he would have had to run there and up the board. There's really no way to handle. You'd have to go back, and then eventually, yeah, okay. Gotcha. Okay, I'll leave these puzzles with you guys, and I'll be right back. So, put in when you're ready. sec gonna do there. Okay. Okay, so we're thinking rook takes d5. So rook d5 removes the pin on. Oh, true. Yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it? Yep, that makes perfect sense because, yeah, the whole idea is there, and he really can't take back. If he does, you win the queen. Yeah, that makes perfect sense there. Yeah. Wait a second. Do we want to? We probably want to. We probably have to take at this point. Yeah. Oh no. I don't. This should be winning too. This should actually. I like this move best. I know he gets 2 rooks, but. Oh, ouch. I missed that. Oh. Okay. That right there is the reason. Drat. Gotta be, cause don't open up the position, cause that would be mate right there. Wow. I'll give that a thumbs up, cause that's a really good one for, like what you're saying, discipline. I agree with you on that. Play the grub. Or grub. It's, I guess the lesson is don't take everything you see, even if it's a queen. It might be a decoy. Make sure that what you guys should do is, if you guys are playing, double check, triple check to make sure that they're not putting a piece on a square that will help them. So even if you think you're going to win material, make sure that you're actually winning material and not setting yourself up for what happened to us, a checkmate and won. That would have been sad. We played such a a slam move, and then we played a triple question mark and lost the game because of it. Okie dokie. Don't worry, we'll get it back. We just gotta get refocused down and get back into the fray. Okay. Wow, both our kings are not safe. Our king isn't safe, his isn't safe, so we should be okay here. Trying to see if there's if we have to remove the guards somewhere, like maybe, yeah, that's what I was looking at too. Rook takes f2. Trying to see though, I'm not sure if we actually, do we get more for a queen to b3 though? Drat, I forgot we can't move our knight. That's a pain in the drain. I think he would. I think he would take with his rook at that point. See if we played rook takes. Yeah. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't work because the knight's pinned. My idea was based on a knight check, but the knight's pinned by the queen to the king, so that doesn't work. Actually, he can't go queen to g2 because I mean king g2, g3. He would have to go to. Oops. Yeah, this is kind of what he'd have to do. King g2. I think I know. I think you mean that. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But I actually think he would take more than. So there is an idea that I was looking at here, but it's actually this: if we play queen takes, I'm thinking king takes. This I know this is kind of radical, but he's gonna think, oh, I could do it because the knight's in a pin. If he plays king takes f4. Then what we do is we can go. Actually, this is also another crazy move I was thinking about. King g6, and then if rook f takes. Sorry, rook f not takes. Rook no, yeah, rook f g1 check. I'm trying to think and do this. Yeah. Rook fg1, and then we can actually because our king's out of the way, we can go knight to g6 g4, knight g4 check, and I don't know, we might get some attack there. I'm not exactly sure. We'd have a discovery check, so I'm not sure if we get enough, because the idea would be here, if he takes, we then move our king up. If he brings his rook over, we then have knight check, and if he, oops, not there. If he takes here, because we have a rook, we may be able to bring our queen over, and I'm not sure if that's not check. Is that checkmate? No. No, no. Well, we win the queen, don't we? Yeah. Huh. Queen a3? Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I like that move. Good. That was I like that move. Wow, that is a really good move. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I like that. Ah, snap. Now we have to decide, is it worth, do we take, see, you have to now think about this. Is it worth queen takes here? If queen takes, pawn takes, then you have check. You're gonna have to sack the piece right back. Rook takes check, and then you'd actually not win a piece in that line. So yeah, I'm thinking that knight takes would be the best move in the sitch, even though he'll get a pawn. But he does win. He does win the pawn with an attack on the queen. But we could actually then take knight takes at that point. Knight takes d5. Then there'd be a pin there. No, then he can check. And then we'd have to move our king. Oh wow! And then we'd lose the queen. No, that's not a. That's not fun. No, 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 no. No, we can't. We can't do that. Nope. 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 So I'm not. I don't know if that's 100% because he can actually then take here. So yikesies. Interesting to say the least. Yeah, we kind of are stuck. Yeah, I think you're forced at that point to actually take with the knight. Yeah, I think we have to take there. And then if I've kind of looked, I think we then can play um, queen takes d5 check. Yeah, yeah, because if he takes, I was looking at here. If he takes here, you have queen takes d5, knight takes, knight takes. Now you got a pin here. If he tries checking, you just move over and you're good to go. You're up a whole piece. Yeah, I almost missed this queen check takes idea. Yeah, we'll give that a plus. I like that one. That was a fun one. That was fun. Ooh, nice. It's only been seen 500 times. That means this might be a little difficult one. Some of the ones I've noticed that are not seen as much are worth more, and they also are slightly harder than the other ones, but they're worth a bundle of points. So if we solve this one, we make it like 8 points, maybe 9 points. But the more they've been seen, the less points they are and the less rating they are. I've kind of seen a pattern in the intensity to the amount of times they've been played. Okay, so he's branched out with a little bit of furiosity. You got to live that. Let's see here. If we played bishop takes pawn, oops, sorry, what's it? Bishop takes pawn. If queen takes pawn, queen takes, king takes. Oh, we don't have a check. Ah. Oh, we could play. Yeah, we win. Oh, yeah, bishop does take. Yeah, snap. I kind of was too far ahead of myself. This, and then that. And there's no way because the bishop guards here. The pawn guards here. The king's got to either move there or there. And then we bring our queen in and we grab the queen. Sweet. Yeah. But let's make sure that's right though. Let's not jump to conclusions. He might throw a kink in our position. So we can't jump to conclusion. Yeah, that's the kind of this was kind of my little Corker idea. If we played here, can he just snap that off like what Economy said? Can he actually play rook takes e5 and then uh-oh, spaghetti-o, we're in a pickle at that point. You know, we can't always think that our opponent's going to do what we want. Sometimes we have to think our moves and then his best move and plan around that. So, boy, huh. We'd get a rook for two bishops. I don't know if that's good enough because if we played here, takes, queen takes, king takes, and then it would come down to we'd have that and he'd have these two bishops, and I would believe that these two bishops dominate a rook in the endgame, so we don't have an advantage in that setup. So we'd be kind of in a pickle at that point. What to do? What to do? What to do? Boy, I'm trying to see if this might not be a bad idea there, but I don't know if we just play here. He takes, queen takes, pawn takes. No, it doesn't work. We pawn push. Let's see, what else can we play that doesn't get us, you know, annihilated? I'll get a drink of water real quick. Yeah. I want to see if we can't do a rover. Oops. See if we can't do something like that on him. I don't think we can do that because he has two bishops. I don't know. I'm trying to see if we can't do a rover because I'm trying to see if that doesn't work. Yeah, we have that bishop guarding, and I don't know if we would acquire enough compensation for that. It's not that it's not a good idea. We just have to be able to get some. Trying to see if there's a. Sometimes, like Var Akobian did a not podcast, but a YouTube thing on something called silent, quiet moves, and maybe it's just a quiet move, preparing for an attack, making white have to react to it. What's white gonna do? Does he when we play rook to f6? What does black do? I mean white do? There's really nothing. He has a couple ideas he could take. He can push. He can take, and he also has maybe some pawn moves. But I'm thinking that rook f6 might be the idea, a really strong move. It keeps this idea for it's two moves, I know, or three moves, but I think it has a lot of teeth to it. I'm thinking this quiet move, rook to f6. What do you guys think? What do you think? Hey Fox. Well, hey, we're working on. Hey Fox, we're working on a. We're working on an idea of rook to f6. What is your opinion, Fox? Well, we'll give you guys some time to look at it. That move is really the only move. Our position's perfectly placed. Black's pieces are perfect. We need just a quiet move that threatens everything, and rook f6 threatens this pawn. If we can get another move in, or two more moves in, we pick up the queen. Could we actually play though queen to rook? If we played here, he played back. Rather than, could we just play rook to g6, and then even if he plays his bishop back, could we play rook g3 at that point? Like, okay. Yeah, that is an interesting idea because that does take into account G5 does take into account G6. So if we got, there's also a G5, and if Rook G2, we have G6, just straight up G6. And if pawn, if H takes G6. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we do after that. I'm just thinking the more we can always pluck in there Rook G, potentially G5. I'm just trying to see if we can't get our Rook any more active with Rook to G6, Rook to F6, I mean. And if he actually played here, we could take the pawn at that point. I really do like Rook F6. I don't know why I'm seeing that. Because I'm just concerned if we play G5. The only concern is that he'll be able to take back here when we push G4. He'll be able to take H takes G4. It's protected, so I'm not sure. I'm still thinking I would actually not. I don't think I would play there. This would probably be the line, and we are winning. If he this is I agree with chess on that one. Oops, here, there. If he cut, if let's see here, there. So back attack. If he comes over here, we would take here, and now we're threatening H3. Yeah, I like your idea, chess, on that. Yeah. That was the idea right there. You got it. You got the idea. Great find, Fox. I am voting. Yep. Exactly, and we have enough to win on that one. Yep. Boom. Because if he comes back here and we take, and let's say he plays there, you actually have the in-between move. Oh, bishop. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There. Takes here. Wow, we eat the whole entire pie. We get the whole entire cake to ourselves at this point. That's nice. Nice. Nice job, guys. Sweet. Hey, we'll be the first one to give him a happy mark. That's an interesting one. I like that one. I actually do like that one. It's pretty complicated. That was a fun one. 1 second, let me check something. Okay. If you guys have any games you would like to go over, we can go over them. We'll go over a game or so if you guys have one. Because it'll be kind of a good break if you guys do have one. Or we can continue onward. If you got a game, Fox, I'll go over it with you. And if you don't, that's okay too. We'll keep pushing on with our tactics, improving as well. Either way, we're improving. But great job. Great find. Good work, guys. That was a tough one. Okay, so you're white and the engine's black. Okay. So e4, knight c6. Oops, sorry, my engine's the engine's on. Gotta turn that off. Don't need the engine help. Okay, so you did the Ninovich. Okay. Boom. There we go. E takes D. I takes. Oops. So I was there. Yeah, we'll have to look at that one. E5. Knight, king side castles. I like your position, Fox. This is actually a strong game here. Knight takes, wham. Oh, I was surprised. I kind of know why he doesn't take here, because you'll have a pin there. He might play something like that. Well, maybe. I don't know if castling. I might have retreated my. Well, maybe here. If he tries that, you can always just reinforce here, and now you keep the threat of taking alive. So, pretty interesting position to say the least. Knight takes. I gotta say, when the computer gets their king castled or the engine, it's like a pain in the drain to go after it. So you kind of have to nail the computer in almost the opening slash into the middle game. I kind of noticed that. Okay, interesting. So knight. Okay, so you're trying to get the bishop here, which is not a bad idea. Computers used to favor the bishops. I think you have enough. I think you're now winning here. I like this position. 1 second. Excuse me. I don't know. I'm kind of liking king to. I like king h1 with preparation for f4 to come. I like king h1. Then if he tries something like this, you can always at that point play there, and now you have a f4 with a potential idea of a kingside assault. I'm starting to get those spidey senses. That's what Josh Waitzkins would say on his tapes. You get that kind of spidey sense that there's something more in the position. Or in Transformers, there's more than meets the eye. Bishop takes, f takes, e3, and then queen to f6. Yeah, not very appealing pawns, to say the least. You are up 2. That is true. Master games do. And Jeremy Silman also agrees with you. He also says that you can learn from any level something, any level of player. It could be a 900. You can learn what not to play. You can learn a fork that the 1900 missed. Yeah, that's one thing that Jeremy Silman talked about. This is kind of scary. It's like, wow. Yeah, there's always the big joke. You can learn something from everybody, even though it may be something what not to do, but you can learn from everything in your life. And from everybody almost. Rook d4. Okay. I like this move. I like this move, Fox. This is a cementing move. This is a great move because you're getting ready to double up, and now you're going to have a battery of your rooks on the d file. That's an excellent decision. My teacher calls that an anchor. My teacher called that an anchor. If you can anchor a rook and keep it like that, and you get support behind it, it's like a a metal ship that can't be moved. It can't be touched. Yeah, see, you see what black did? Black is trying to anchor his rook as well. So it's whose anchor is stronger at this point. See, you guys are. It's like it kind of reminds me of Ginger GM talked about when he was teaching the London system on YouTube. He calls it the dueling. No, what is it called? The Mexican standoff with they have two guns. One's pointing at the other guy. One's pointing at the other guy, and they're like, "Make my day" kind of thing. And they're looking, saying, "Huh? Who's gonna fire first? Who's gonna fire first? You fire. No, you fire. No, you." And they're talking that down. That's kind of what this reminds me of. These two rooks are saying, "Are you gonna shoot your cannonball first, or am I gonna shoot my cannonball first? Which one?" Nice. That's actually I do like that move. That's a really good move. Because the idea is to swing the rook over, but I'm not sure if we could have actually played potentially. No, yeah, I'm thinking potentially C. No, because then he could have played C5 here. And if he takes, queen takes, and then he dominates this open file. So we can't actually play that yet. So we kind of have to we have to get our queen to B4 first, and then we have the proper time to play C4. We'll have a defender of the C5 pawn. Oh, true. That there is a lot of ideas in the Greek gifts. Yeah. Oh, that is true. Nice. Yeah, I guess you could do that. That'd probably be best. Yeah, then your as Yazzer would say in Maurice, you're eyeballing the pawn. I still like your idea though, because this gives the queen more attack. So I like the queen. I like the flexible queen to d2, because there's really no point of attack anymore for the knight, the king, because it's so fortified. Black's king. So your idea is you're shifting. Maurice talked about this. When black shifts heavy to one side in Aikido, he leaves a vacant spot, and that's where you rush your forces into. You know that's how that's how vacuums work. You know, like when you go to the bank and they have that little tube and it goes. That's kind of that idea. It has zero gravity kind of things, makes it go real fast. If there's any vacuum, you want to fill it with your pieces for an attack. That is true. But remember, you want to be flexible. You want to leave your options open. You don't want to pawns don't move back concept is huge. So king f2, rook and 8 d7, c4, rook d8, c5. So you're attacking the rook, and now you're oh nice. I'm wondering if taking here Takes there, takes here. Nope, you're right. You played it correctly. You played it correctly, Fox. Excellent job. That was correct. I miscalculated that. You're still, let's see, he's got 5, you got 6. Yeah, you're winning here. I don't know. I think I might have played here. Fox, I might have played right to D4 idea. Because I want to get, and if he plays here, well, I guess you have that. And if he plays in, you have here. Yeah, I guess you could use that pawn as a surprised you didn't. They usually get pawn greedy. But I think he was concerned a little bit about that. Yeah, it's all based on endgame play. Nice endgame play. That was great. Now we're going to take a look at this one game here, and then we'll then I got a log for the night, but we'll take a look at this. Because I don't want to forget any of you guys there, because that's what a team does. There's no I in team, there's we. So let's see here. Input, paste. Yes, you guys did great. Let's see, C4. So this is Tigrosian, and then John. Huh. Six, knight F3. Yeah. So D5. That was a really good game, Fox. I want to tell you that was well played. Well played. Oh, it's Petrosian versus as white, and John A. Peters is black. Sorry, I should have told you guys what the names were. So knight takes, pawn takes, takes. So now they're playing against the isolated pawn on d5, the Isolani. It gets that term. I watched a Yazzer had one on. He taught like how to do chess. I have his tape, his very beginning one, and he talked. That's where I got Isolani from. Was he talked about that? This is considered Isolani if it's in the center and it's a center isolated pawn. There's isolated pawns, but center pawns, Isolanis. I'm trying to remember. I haven't watched the tape in a while. I should, because it really helped me in my endgame play. It's really informative, I gotta say. So if you guys are, starting out, you want to get a really good, jump start in chess, that'd be a good tape to purchase if you have some cash that you're willing to put into chess. Bishop to b6. Bishop d2. Rook e8. Rook c1. See how grandmasters they build up. Yeah, the knight. Isn't that cool? It's I think one player. I know you guys are kind of like don't mention the player. He says that what you should do: barricade or blockade, surround, and destroy. I remember Yaz were talking about that. That what you want to do is block the pawn, bring the forces in, and then destroy the pawn. It's actually a philosophy in chess. There's many. One thing that I gotta tell you is that it wasn't Alekhine. It was Emanuel Lasker said that school of thoughts are great, but it's how you play the game that truly matters in chess. So, because he was like, he played in, I think, a tournament when he was in his 40s against 20-year-olds that they were this school of play, that school of play, this school. And they're like, we're going to defeat you, old man. That's what they were kind of saying. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have any school of play. And Emanuel Lasker says, we'll see. We'll see. And he went there and he like obliterated, not I shouldn't say obliterated, he defeated soundly, that's what I'll say. He soundly defeated his opponents who were of certain play schools. It could be hyper modern, the Soviet school, the US school, different schools. What he did was, one thing that we have to take into consideration is he played chess. So just remember that. If you kind of get caught up in like a school thought, remember, take what you learn and play chess. That's what my teacher taught me. And eventually you'll form your own style. You'll have your own school. You'll be the school of question mark, whatever your name is or whoever you are. You'll be the school, that'll be your school of thought. So bishop f5. And you can always fill in, that. And you know what? You can learn stuff, like I said, from any school and apply it to getting better. So bishop f5. So queen to b3. Bishop e4. Bishop takes e4. Rook takes. And the idea also behind, you guys all know as well, the more pieces that come off the board, the weaker an isolated pawn becomes in an endgame, because it's based on pawn islands. And if we notice, there's 3 pawn islands for black. There's this pawn island, and this pawn island here. This one, and then this one, and then the solo one. White has 1, 2. So white's in an endgame, they stand better. White does, or Petrosian does. Sorry. Knight to a7. Rook takes f8. All right, not f8, c8. Wrong. Got the board flipped there a little bit. Queen, and then now bishop. Ooh, nice. because the queen protects the bishop, if you guys are wondering. Rook, now the knight, and then he's going after the rook. He's trying his hardest. Black has a problem with back rank. White doesn't. So white could place his rook anywhere along here if he had to. I'm not saying he's going to. And he doesn't have to worry about it back rank mate because he's got 2 squares to go to. Rook to 1 second. Excuse me, I just need to drink water. 1 second. That's better. Okay. So, okay, rook e8, bishop to f4, attacks the queen. Queen retreats back, rook c2. We're trying to see if we can't get rook d2. Then now we can reroute. Then we'd be able to reroute our knight and also take scope on this pawn. H. Oh, also, sorry, I forgot that this pawn was hanging too. So it's kind of a dual idea. Now the bishop's attacked there. Okay, there. King f1. Now the rook can move. Be free, rook. Be free. Rook e6. Queen b5. Excuse me. Rook a7. Queen to b3. And now we're clamping down on the king, on black's king. Knight at e7. And this is kind of it's like black has a lot of space, but that's also clogging up his attack. It's weird. The pawn has a ton of space that it controls, but it also clogs up all of his activity to take out the king. So there we go, queen. You gotta love how he can get his king all the way over to the queen side. That's pretty cool, I gotta say. Oh, nice. I like this move here. This is like a sign of I got you in my grasp, and I would take you down. Queen d6. Boom. Or takes. There's the first sitch. Now we're taking scope on this pawn, so wow. He's saying, just take the rook, get out of here, just leave me alone, just don't. We'll trade rooks off this. Treaty. And White's like, not going to happen, my friend. And now, because we're entering into an endgame, White dominates black here. I would say domination right now. There's nothing that black can do. White's going to come in and crunch. Do you guys have any questions on this game here before I log off? 1 second, let me just check something. Because I'll just wait for a minute or two to see if you guys have any questions on the prior one, or if you guys want to go over any of the prior puzzles. That was fun. Thank you for the game, Play the Grub. Very informative, and thank you for the game, Fox. Do you have any questions or anything? I'll give you guys another minute or so. I tried to. I haven't recently. I've had a lot of stuff come up lately. I apologize. I try to keep up. I haven't recently, but I'll do my best to do that. Oh, okay. We'll go through it really quick. Send the game. We'll go through one more game. Okay, guys. Because we usually go over a Leela game, and we'll just go over it really efficiently. Just send it, and we'll go over it really efficiently. We'll do it. And of course, I always have time for you guys to go over games. It's kind of it's one of those things. Sometimes you got a log, but I can do like another 5 to 7 minutes more longer. But to answer the question, yes, I do. On YouTube, I do upload all my stuff. I have to do that for Twitch. I haven't been doing that. Game 2, okay. Game 2, gotcha. So, okay, we gotta turn the board. Perfect, okay. So E3, knight A6, A7, A3, castle kingside, castle kingside. So now it's coming down to technique here. Who has the most? Right, you have to wait for the right moment to strike. And they're building up. The Leela is the engine is stifling any of Black's play. White's play on the queen side, because the Leela has more space on the side. The engine does. The engine Leela has more pawns, and so if Leela can actually stop the other engine fire from doing a queenside attack, then Leela will have a pretty good attack itself. So 88, okay, and that's the engine is White's trying to get the queen side going. And it's kind of funny that they're shifting. They're posturing. They're going, you move, I move, you move. And now there's the shutdown move. You gotta love that. That's a shutdown. It's White's trying a minority attack against Black's majority. You have to have all your pieces properly placed and ready for defense if you ever do that, especially on the king side. You gotta be brave, totally brave for that. F6. Nice. Like if you take here, I'm not sure if we do we get enough for that mix? I'm not sure. Yeah, Black's hiding right in front of the pawn, because you can't attack through your own pawns. I think that's funny sometimes when they do that. Boom. H. Okay, so there. Takes. Queen takes. Yeah, they have two pieces. Black has two pieces for the rook. I prefer black here. I really like black's position. And if you're ever wondering why doesn't that this take there, I think it flees. Bishop to c6. King takes. Sweet. Now that pawn's gone, so we don't. This bishop also, if need be, could barricade. So it's not ready for the attack. Not just yet. Not just yet. Now we're ready. You have to get your pieces coordinated. And there's really no hope for, even if this is it, well, what could happen is the king can move here. Then if he tries pushing, oops, can't do that. My bad. That's a bad move. Very bad. You could just barricade. If he comes there, come in there, he pushes. You have to. You can come over. And now you can just check. You got him. Got any questions on the game? That was an excellent game of waiting for the right moment and not taking impulsively. I really like that one. Do you guys have any questions on that game? Do you have any questions, Fox? Well, it has the ability to calculate. I don't know if engines yet have creative power yet, but they're getting close. They like exactly. Well, you have to also there was a on Netflix. There's a movie called a documentary called AlphaGo, and they talk about it, the engine playing like this ping pong game, and it on game 100 it was really bad. Game 200 was really bad. Game 300 it got better. On game 500 it found a way. There was walls of things. It found a way that it got to the best thing. It bounced off and it got the ball behind the pawn thing and it started bouncing. That's what. Yeah, exactly. So, are you guys all good then with that? Okay. Are you good, Fox? I'll give you a minute just to see if you have any more questions. I'm glad you guys did, because you know what? It's about learning and helping the chess community. Okay, perfect. Oh, you have a question? Do you have? You said yep. Is that yep for I have a question, or nope I have it, or no I'm good? Okay, you're good. All right, perfect. Well, guys, you know what? That we did great. We're staying above 1600, and we're gonna try. We're going for our 1700 level goal. Our 20 not 1700 2700. Apologies about that. A lot of numbers and calculations on the head in the head. So what we have to remember is never give up. Learn from your mistakes, like the engine Leela. It plays tons and tons of lines, thoughts, and it learns from its mistakes. It learns from the opponent's mistakes, and then it takes all the knowledge, combines it into a uh, like a nerve thing, like what you're saying, play the grub, and then it makes nodes of thought, and it imitates human creative thought, but we have creativity. That's one thing that an engine yet hasn't mastered: creativity. So we have that one thing yet ahead of the engine. Pretty soon, who knows? Maybe someday it will have creative power and be able to think for itself. So guys, we have to always remember, like Hannibal Smith said, you have to be the one to direct the plan, and you have to know where it's going. You have to be, and like in Knights South Bronx, the dad of this one kid, he played a game when he was in prison. He said, you know what? You always have to be 3 moves ahead of your opponent. 3 moves. Not always, but the idea is you have to think ahead of your opponent far enough that your opponent won't know what's going on, or play such a complicated position that it overwhelms the knowledge that they have on board. And that also goes back to the Bruce Lee: knowing is not enough, we must apply, and willing is not enough, we must do. So we have to use all that, and we can use our mistakes and learn and become great players too. I'll check to make sure before I do our send off that you guys didn't put anything in, because I will answer them if you did. One sec, let me see. Okay, good. Yeah, you have to, and okay, and remember that one story I know I always say: we are the ones that hang up our coat, that hang up our hat. We sit down at the table in front of the thing that they say can't be completed, and we do it. You guys can do it, okay? I know you can. We will do it. Okay. And I'll leave you with that. As Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. And as I say, God bless. And I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, guys. And I believe that St. Louis is still going the next one in the series. And Fabi's still in the lead. Congrats, Fabi. Go, Fabi. And you know what? It's 2 more games, and we're going to see what happens. That'll be fun. So be blessed, guys, and Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow on, and we'll do some more studies and continue to push forward in our learning process. Great job, guys, tonight. Bye-bye. Be blessed.